All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining today's webinar. Today's webinar topic is called Real Estate Reset, and we are joined by Eric Sachs. He is the CEO of Breakthrough Broker. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Tori. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. We're super excited to have you here. We have heard great things about your speaking and super excited to see what you bring to the table today. So before we get started, I just want to let everyone know, as always, that Allison James is 100% commission, 100% support, and zero franchise fee brokerage. You don't need to split your commission, save your money. Make sure you are referring agents to us. If you are not an Allison James agent and would like to learn more, I will go ahead and provide a link here in a couple slides where you can go ahead and learn more about our brokerage. A little bit about Allison James. Our goal is to always give back to our agents. We provide education, such as today's webinar, training sessions, live events. You have full broker support. We try and keep up to date with the latest and greatest tools as well, latest and greatest technology. We most recently developed an Allison James app. So all of our agents have access to an app where you can find all the resources you need to just have a successful business. Today's webinar, as always, is sponsored by our preferred lender, Movement Mortgage. If you're not familiar with Movement Mortgage and want to learn more, you can send me a chat. And then lastly, for more information about Allison James, you can visit www.ajicareers.com. So we will go ahead and get started with today's webinar. If you do have any questions throughout the presentation, Eric and I will be monitoring those questions in the chat. So you can go ahead and throw them in the chat box and we will make sure either they get answered in real time or we will have time at the end for questions as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started with today's topic. I will now pass the mic over to Eric.
Awesome, guys. It's so nice to be back with Allison James. Back in the day, Tori, I did a few live events for you guys. It was fun. We did something in Florida, I think. So, and I'm close with Jessica and Matt. So real quickly, I think it's important to know my background because I used to hate to be on calls or at events with guys and gals that are trying to teach me how to sell more homes than they'd never sold a home before. So I like to tell you that even though I'm the co-founder of Breakthrough Broker, I'm at heart a realtor. So I had a top producing team here in Colorado, loved what I did. So we opened a brokerage, grew that, not as big as you guys, but about 125 agents. When we were acquired by a large national franchise who wanted us to manage about 4,000 realtors in multiple states, I said, no, thank you. Not that I don't love you. It just sounded terrible to me. So we signed a non-compete, couldn't sell real estate in Colorado for 5 years. So we had to figure out what was next. We built Breakthrough Broker and launched it in 2010 to kind of be what we wished we had when we were selling ideas and strategies, tips, technologies, templates, all kinds of stuff to execute on our marketing. And now we have 601,000 realtors on the platform. I bring that to you because I have a little perspective. We work with so many realtors all over the United States, Canada, and Europe that I have some perspective on what's going on for you guys. I also live with one. So my wife is a realtor here in Denver. So the perspective is it's difficult, right? It's low inventory post-pandemic. Tori, I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but it's hard to be a realtor right now. We're dealing with buyers that can't find a home. And if they find a home, they're up against, in many cases, multiple offer situations. I think that's starting to ease a little bit, but as that eases, interest rates go up a little bit. And then the sellers are a little unrealistic. They had heard that they were getting top dollar, over asking, 30 offers in one weekend. And now that's not happening anymore in many markets. And so your world is difficult. And I believe that we are in this weird moment in our business time where we have to be better than we've ever been. I think we have to be better than, if anyone's on this call that sold real estate in 07, 08, 09, we had to be great back then. And I believe we have to be great now. And so today we're going to talk about the real estate reset. Really, we're going to talk about best practices, what we need to do to make the money we want to make this year as real estate agents. Now, I'm sure you see it, Tori, but having 600,000 realtors on our platform, every day I get a message from a realtor, can you take me off your platform because I'm not in real estate anymore? And I don't want that for any of you. I don't want you struggling so much to find buyers and find sellers and interact with your sphere that your lead sources dry up and you haven't had a commission in a couple months and you have to go out and get a job. None of us want that, right? We have the best career in the world, but we have to work at it right now, right? I believe, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I do believe, and this is our motto: be a badass real estate agent. And someone crossed out texted me this image. We have to be better right now than we've ever been. I think, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but most of the people they know 9, 10, 11 other realtors, right? At least 9, right? So your neighbors, your past coworkers, friends, family, past clients, they know other realtors. So how do you become that one that they think of right now in a tough market, that they make sure that they call you? And we just have to be better. Now, I think I've taught a class for Allison James in the past called I Shall Not Should on Myself, SHOULD. We're all shoulders, right? We tell ourselves, oh my gosh, I should get this newsletter out to my sphere of influence so I can provide some value every month and I stay top of mind. I just sold a home in one weekend, 10 offers over asking price. I should let that neighborhood know. But it stays on this should list because we're not great at executing. We're poor executors, right, Tori? We don't get done what we know we need to get done to make more money. When I was creating this class, I found this awesome essay. It's titled The Common Denominator of Success. And I've had a typo in here forever, and I tell myself every time I do this, I need to fix it. But anyway, we'll get past the typo. The Common Denominator of Success was written in the 60s by this famous insurance salesman. And I pulled an excerpt out of that I love the most. And he says in his essay, the secret of success of every man or woman who's ever been successful lies in the fact that he or she form the habits of doing the things that failures don't like to do. Now that hits home with a lot of people. Let's insert top producer. The secret of success of every top producing realtor in America lies in the fact that he or she is doing the things that the rest of us don't like to do. It's uncomfortable. You didn't have to do that pre-pandemic. Real estate was fairly easy. Most of us were making the money we wanted to make pre-pandemic. Some of it was falling in our laps. The economy was great. Real estate market was booming. And then the pandemic hit and we all freaked out. Now, a lot of people, I saw a stat yesterday. This is crazy. 10% of the realtors in America, 10% of the realtors in America in 2021 sold 90% of the homes. Can you guys believe that? 10% of the realtors in America sold 90% of the homes. That means the rest of us are only it means 90% of the realtors, or 1.2 million, were fighting for 10% market share. That means a lot of us didn't do as well as the rest of us, right? And so as we come through all this, and as the market corrects, and as we want to stay in this business because we don't have to punch a time clock and we can make as much money as we want to make based on how hard we work, we have to get down to the nitty gritty. And today we're going to talk about engagement. We're going to talk a lot about marketing, right? I'm assuming some of us on this call are underperforming in our marketing. Guys, we wake up every morning. What's our main goal as realtors? Anyone want to pipe up in the chat box? What do we do every day as real estate professionals? Do we find homes for people? No, we don't find homes for people. Zillow, realtor.com, they do that. What do we do every day? The most important thing we do every day is finding people that want to buy or sell a home. It's funny, I have a question for you. We take all these classes, right? The board of realtors makes us take all these classes on your contracts and all of the things, all of the technical real estate. But they don't provide a ton of classes on the other side, and that's the marketing side. So I have a question for you. If you have no one to negotiate for, what does it matter that you're a certified negotiation expert? I'd rather you be a certified marketing expert and then be a certified negotiations expert. If you have no one to write a contract for, what does it matter how well you write your contracts? Right? It doesn't. So at the very core, what we do as realtors, our profession is finding buyers and sellers, period. Don't get me wrong. Everything else is really important to be a well-rounded realtor, to get referrals in the future. You have to be great at negotiating. You have to be really good at your contracts and buttoned up and dialed in and have great customer service. But at the very bottom, it does not matter if we have no one to work for. So what we're going to talk about today is the real estate reset really is just refocusing. We could call it the real estate refocus on marketing, on being the one realtor your friends and family and neighbors choose, and understanding geographic farming and how it works and why it works so well for some realtors. Okay. So the cumulative effect, we're calling it repetitive engagement, of consistent, persistent marketing efforts will determine your financial outcome, period. Now, anyone ever see the old movie Up? Anyone remember the Disney movie Up? Do you guys remember that dog in Up, Doug? Do you guys remember? Anyone? So Doug was like, he chased squirrels all over the place, right? And I make a joke. I feel like realtors, and I'm one of them, guys, so don't get mad at me. They should have named Doug Realtor, right? Because we're always chasing squirrels. We're always chasing shiny pennies. We tell ourselves, man, I really should do some open houses. We do 3 and we don't convert a buyer lead. And we're like, I'm not doing open houses anymore. I really should send a series of letters and postcards to this particular neighborhood. And we spend $1,000 and we don't get business. Can you imagine the ROI if you spend $3,000 and you get a $500,000 listing? What's the ROI on that? It's a $15,000 commission for $3,000. Don't you think that's good business? Right? But we stop at 1,000, we stop at 500. So we're going to talk a lot today about persistent, consistent marketing. Okay. So, oops, didn't mean to do that. I don't know what happened there. Are you guys still with me? Can you see my screen, Tori? Momentum. Do I have any sports fans on this call today? If you think about sports and you think about who wins at the end of the game, it's typically the team with the most momentum, right? And so I want you to think about your business very similarly. If you don't have momentum, if you don't get the ball rolling, if you don't have conversations on a daily basis, you're not posting on social on a daily basis, you're not figuring out your next open house and your next sphere marketing piece and your newsletter. If you don't have that momentum, you're not going to see an increase in your business. And so we're going to talk a lot today about repetitive engagement, omnipresence. I wish you went to a barbecue this weekend at the neighborhood and someone looked at you and was like, oh my God, Tori, I can't get you out of I see you everywhere. You're like in my mailbox, on my Facebook. I see you in emails and newsletters. It's crazy. Do you ever sleep? You just won, right? And it doesn't take that much time or money. It just takes effort and planning. So we're going to talk about texting, and we're going to talk about calling people, and we're going to talk about your Facebook and social media and Instagram, and we're going to talk about in person. How do you be better than your competition when you're at that barbecue this weekend, right? We're going to talk about direct mail, QR code marketing. The QR code was dead and it came back from the pandemic, right? We all had to use it at every restaurant. Some restaurants still use it. I'm like, can I have I really want a menu. I'm getting old. I can't see on my phone anymore, right? So the mailbox, super important. We have to stand out if we want to make more money. There are a lot of realtors in your neighborhood, in your town, in your county, in your city, in your board. Okay. Guys, I got to be honest with you. I feel like I'm a humble human being. I try to be humble. But when I was selling, I would drive down the street in my town and think every person in the world was crazy when they had my competitor's sign in the yard. I felt I was the best realtor in Northern Colorado. And I thought everyone else was nuts for not using me. I just felt that way. I felt like I was the best negotiator. I felt like I had the best customer service, the best post-closing follow-up, the best gifts. I thought I was the best. Now, you should too. There's a question I like to ask people when I'm coaching them is this: why would you hire you for the single largest financial buy or sale of your life? Why would you hire you? Now, it should roll off your tongue right away like it's in your DNA. And if it doesn't, I want you to write it down later today when we get off. Why would you use you? There's other realtors out there. You're getting their marketing. Why would you use you? And so I want you to have that same mindset. I want you to drive down the road and be like, crazy, 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 crazy. They should be using me. These people are nuts. If you feel that way, it will permeate all of your conversations, everyone you know. It'll be part of your marketing. That's how it should be. Are you remarkable? Which means, are you worthy of note? Are you actually better than the other 9 realtors, your friends, family, coworkers, and your geographic farm? No. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you want to be a top producer, this is this intangible that they all have. This is an intangible that people love to be around them. People think when somebody mentions a word real estate, they think of that person. When someone mentions, oh my gosh, I think I'm getting relocated, that person thinks, oh man, I should get him in touch with Eric. He'll get top dollar for their home, and refer him to a great realtor in Nashville, right? So it starts up here. Are your communications valuable? Are you adding value? What are you sending? What are you saying? Would you read it? Like, would you read the email marketing you're putting out? Would you read the postcard that you sent? Would you open the email based on the subject line? All of those things are really important for you to know, understand, and it starts up here. So as we're talking about marketing, today's a perfect weekend. Who's going to a barbecue this weekend? Anyone on this call? It's Memorial Weekend. I'm flying. My son's a dancer on Broadway at a conservatory, and he's graduating this weekend, and he's got a big show on Broadway. We're flying out tomorrow morning. But someone will ask me in my family this weekend, how's the real estate market? Right? How's the real estate market? And it's how does anyone want to offer up how you'd answer that in chat? How's the real estate market? Anyone want to offer that up? How would you answer how's the market? Guys, I can sit here. We have an hour scheduled. So if no one wants to chat, we can just, Tori and I can BS for an hour. Can someone type in to the chat what you would say if someone asked you how's the market? Anyone? Tori, what would you think we'd say?
You'd probably say it's been better.
It's been better. It's been great. It's been amazing. It's cooling off a little, right? Lisa says it's great. I love it, Lisa. That's awesome. I hear from realtors all the time. It's great. It's fantastic. It's hot. It's amazing. It's slowing down a little. What makes that any different than the other 10 realtors they're going to ask over the next 3 weeks? Lisa killed it. She said, then details. Okay. How about this answer? How's the market? How's the market? Great, hot, amazing. Or, oh my gosh, Tori, it's crazy right now. Last month, I was working with these new clients, the Johnsons. I don't know, maybe you know them, but I think you do. But anyway, we'd been looking for homes for them for a few weeks, and they finally found their dream home. But it'd been on the market for an afternoon, and we were one of 7 offers. And I don't want to bore you with the details, but after just some crazy back and forth, we ended up winning the bidding war. They closed last week. It's nuts. So again, if anyone's really interested, let me know. Now, this story can change. You guys have office meetings. You have a new app where you guys can interact with each other. So post on the app. Does anyone have a story for me about the market over the past couple of weeks? Yes, I have a story. I actually did my first price reduction in 2 years this week. Great. So on Sunday, how's the market, Eric? Oh, it was amazing. My buyers were having trouble. They were fighting multiple offer situations. But I heard from a colleague of mine actually that they just did their first price drop. So even though interest rates are going up a little bit, if you're looking to buy right now, I think it's evening out. If you're looking to sell right now, I think maybe you should do it now before it evens out even more. So you ask me how the market is, it's a little crazy right now. Is that answer better? Then it's awesome. It's great. It's slowing. Guys, you have to be deeper. You have to have, you absolutely have to have a story. I'm checking some of what's coming in. But whatever you're gonna say, rehearse it, practice it, and be better than the other 9 they're gonna ask this to, okay? Tell a story, share a story, all right? Next, repetitive engagement. So they saw you at a party and you had a really thoughtful, nice answer. And they're like, this is great. This is how my wife is getting business right now. It's awesome. Do a CMA a day. Well, Eric, that's a ton of work. What do you mean a CMA a day? Do you want to make a lot of money in this business? It's a lot of work. Okay. We don't just become millionaire real estate agents by sitting around and hoping it comes to us. Do an unsolicited comparative market analysis every day and send it to a friend. Okay. The email is easy. Joanna does this every day. Many of my friends and acquaintances have been asking me what their home was worth as we are ending the pandemic and the market was so crazy. So I thought I'd send out a quick market analysis to almost everybody I know. If you're curious what your home may sell for in today's market, take a quick look. Call me if you have any questions. 1 a day to a neighbor, a past coworker, a friend, a past client. 1 a day, a soccer parent, a business associate, someone from church. 1 a day. Okay. A couple things. You're going to learn the market really, really well. And you're going to drum up some amazing conversation. 1 CMA a day. It'll work for you guys. Okay. The conversations and momentum you gain from doing a CMA a day will be immeasurable. Okay. Direct mail with a strategy. Okay. If you're going to do it just listed, great, but put on the back the story. Just listed. We're waiting to take offers till Monday, the 30th, whatever it may be. This one's thinking about selling. Okay. Direct mail is back. It's crazy. People during the pandemic, they were going to their mailboxes. We're seeing so much inbound messages to us that postcards they used from Breakthrough Broker helped them get a listing or helped them get a buyer or at least got them an appointment. And that's what you want. Happy house anniversary. Okay. Imagine you saw a client at a party, you had a great conversation with them, and then they got this in the mail and you posted this and say, I want to say happy house anniversary to the Johnsons. They bought a house for me 3 years ago. Okay. Market updates, all direct mail. Okay. You can send interesting content. Market updates on the back of this postcard, on this market update postcard, there's an area for you to explain what all this means. Don't just post stats and don't explain what they mean. The consumer doesn't know. Any questions so far? You guys are so quiet today. Are they always this quiet?
Yeah. Yeah. It's usually pretty quiet on these.
People up. Proof of production. I call it proof of market. This is telling a story. Okay. So in your marketplace, find 3 solds from your colleagues and send this out to a neighborhood. Under contract in 3 days, received 21 offers, sold 40,000 over asking. Okay. This stuff works. People see it. They understand it. It gets them off of a fence. Okay. Text messaging. Remember repetitive engagement. You have great conversations. They got something in the mail from you. They got a text message from you a few weeks ago. And you can say the events of the past few years have me thinking of you, checking to see how you're doing. Hope all is well. We haven't talked in a while. There's a lot of people in your sphere that you didn't connect with in the last couple of years. And then you get to this point where you don't want to, you're like embarrassed, or we all have those people in our database. We're like, man, I sold home to them a year and a half ago and I never called them. It's okay. Send this text. They'll love to hear from you. Okay. The response will dictate the next steps. You maybe call them, text them back to meet for coffee, put them in your newsletter. There's a lot you can do from that text. Okay. Lisa says, am I suggesting we use other agents' production? Absolutely. If you don't have your own, use someone from your company. Okay. The broker owners are probably happy to let you use company sold listings, right? And so, yes, you can market in company sold listings. Okay. I wouldn't market outside the company sold listings. You could if you had permission, but I would say in company sold listings all the time. Okay. So, I understand that, Lisa. So Lisa's saying we don't have AJ agents in the same area. I understand that. So if you have permission from your company and you have permission from the other listing company, you just call the other agent and say, hey, I saw you sold your home in one day, like 40,000 over asking. Do you mind if I use that for some of my marketing? I'll attribute you to it. It's up to you. You have to get permission. Okay. And they may say no, but either way, we can leverage this in a couple different ways. All right. Phone. Are you guys calling people? Are you call? I mean, people are like, oh my God, I don't want to call anybody. I didn't get into real estate to be a phone salesperson. I'm not talking about calling people and being like, hey, have you thought about a free market analysis? I'm just calling people to check in and have a meaningful conversation. The events of the past few years have me thinking about you. Thought I'd check in. Hope all is well. And hopefully that leads to a meaningful conversation. Now, if it does, follow up. Make sure you're listening to the conversation. And if they say they just put a deposit down on a new dog, they can't wait, they're getting it in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, you call them and say, what did you name the dog? Or you send them a gift box from Chewy. That's marketing. That's being a real estate agent. Staying top of mind. Working on your referral network, okay? But we didn't get into this business to make cold calls. It's not cold calls. These are people you know, okay? Market update, social posts, okay? You can go to breakthroughbroker.com. Everything I'm showing you is on breakthroughbroker.com. Just get your stats from your local MLS or board of realtors, plug the stats in and post them. But don't just post them. I want you guys at the top to write what the stats mean. That's where you guys get the benefit. That's where your sphere of influence will love you. Thinking of selling social posts. There's still more buyers than homes for sale. Call me. All of this marketing stuff is on Breakthrough Broker, okay? Articulate how low the inventory is and what it's doing and how it's affecting sales prices right now, okay? Post expert commentary or post expert articles, okay? Spending a lot of time on your social media that's where everyone is. I don't know if we have any hockey fans on here, but do you guys remember the famous Wayne Gretzky post? He was like the Michael Jordan of hockey, and they asked him back in the day when he retired, what made you so great? And Wayne Gretzky said, well, I didn't go to where the puck was. I went to where the puck was going to be. And that's how I was so great. Well, we know that the people you know are going to be on Facebook or Instagram today at some point, once a day, twice a day sometimes, maybe 10 if you're like my family. So be posting there. And sometimes I hear from realtors, man, I just don't even know what to post. So I want you to Google real estate news. Just Google it. You'll find 100 great websites, and you'll find stuff like this: 15 proactive steps every landlord should take for good tenant relationships. Then you post this on your Facebook and you say, for any of my friends who own investment properties or who are thinking of buying an investment property or an Airbnb, this is a great article from Forbes on tenant-landlord relationships. A good relationships will ensure the safety of your investment. They outline 15 strategies. Message me if you're interested in knowing more about purchasing your first investment property. Or another one. Doesn't that look engaging to you guys? Okay. You might post this: rise to the top of pool by selling your house today. And you would say, this is a good read for anyone wondering about putting their home on the market this summer. I've had several clients call me and decide to either pause or put their home on the market in the past month. So choosing the right time is really important. Message me if you want to discuss the current market. What do the high interest rates mean? What does it all mean? Google real estate news. All your favorite outlets will come up. And then I want you to plug them into this free resource called feedly.com. It's so cool. They have a mobile app too. So once you find all your favorite Google real estate news places, you're going to take Keeping Current Matters, Housing Wire, Forbes Real Estate, Realtor Magazine, Risk Media, Inman News, whatever it may be. Then you're going to open your free account on Feedly, and then it has a free mobile app. And every morning you'll find 10 or 15 great articles. You just choose one and you post it once a day, once every other day. Okay. Tell a story with your posts. This one is a post on Breakthrough Broker that says, determine the equity in your home. Contact me to learn more. But if you just post this image, it does nothing for you. Post the image and say, many of my friends have been asking me what their home is worth. Maybe a better question is, what equity do I have in my home? There's so many things you can do with equity. Home improvement, buy an investment property, sell and move up, sell and move to Costa Rica. That's what we're doing next year. Let me know if we need to schedule coffee. So you have to go the extra mile, and you'll start to see more leads come in, more people calling you and say, I actually do want to talk about this CMA you did. I actually do want to talk about how much equity I have because I've been thinking about buying a rental. So if you don't do this, you don't get a shot at that. If you can't tell I'm a big hockey fan, there's another quote. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you're not posting this stuff because you're not comfortable or you don't have the time, no one's going to call you to find out what the equity in their home is, right? So this thing is important. On breakthroughbroker.com, we have special letters. Thanks, Colleen. On breakthroughbroker.com, we have special letters. They're pre-written. Nathan and I, when we were selling, we always wanted to send strategic, well-written letters. And it would take us forever, weeks of writing the letter and then editing it and then rereading it and then editing it and always having a misspelling. Well, we have professional editors and writers now at our company, and we wrote the letters. They made them sound good, and they're pre-written. Low inventory. I have a buyer for your neighborhood. Out-of-state sellers, divorcing families, things that are hard to know what to say. We have them. So change up the delivery method. If you're always sending postcards, send a letter. Okay. If you're always sending letters, send a postcard. If you're always just sending newsletters, send something else. Okay, guys. This is springtime. We're getting back to meeting with each other. Organize a happy hour. Get in front. People are loving being back face to face. Organize a first-time home buyer seminar for a neighborhood. Client appreciation parties, happy hours, coffee meetups. And if you're the catalyst, it will come out during these conversations. How's your life? Oh, great. Real estate's been crazy, as you know. It's up and down. It was crazy. It's evening out. You'll get your opportunity to talk about yourself at an event that you host, and that's great. Take the time and spend the money. Okay, a client brunch, past client brunch, have fun, right? Social engagement. To keep the momentum, we have hundreds of these posts on Breakthrough Broker. Just post it. Home is where your story begins. Just post it. Have your logo on it, not Breakthrough Broker. It has your logo and your information. Okay. The idea behind engagement posts is just to spark top of mind engagement, right? It's just to spark. Remember that you're the one. You're the one that we want to make sure. You're the one we want to make sure they remember. Okay, sorry, my daughter's school's calling. I'm like, why did they call? She probably missed a class. That's what you get when you have a senior. All right, I'm going to keep going. Additional ideas on breakthroughbroker.com. We have these. Now I'm sharing just flat out content ideas for you guys. We have these infographics on breakthroughbroker.com. This is a seller's roadmap. Does anyone want to offer up what you could do with this infographic? One of the things that shows that we're really like Doug the dog from Up is realtors are always like, oh, that's awesome, an infographic. And then it's like a blank slate. Like, what do you do with it? And then they move on. Like, next, what's the next thing? So there's 7 things you can do with this one piece. 7 things. Okay. I would print this out and put it in my listing presentation. I would print it out and I might hand it out at open houses because a lot of people are selling a home from an open house. I would download this as a PNG or image file and post this on LinkedIn today, Facebook next week, and Instagram a week later. I would actually take all the wording and write a blog, long form blog, and post it on Facebook, a long form post, LinkedIn, a long form post. And if you have a blog on your website, there too. So I just gave you 7 ideas for one infographic. On breakthroughbroker.com, we have 16. So you can do something for like 40 weeks if you do one thing a week. Okay. Remember, secrets for a stress-free purchase. Hand these out at your open houses. Write a blog. Post it on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Okay. Put it in your buyer presentation. On Breakthrough Broker, we have all these pre-recorded videos that are branded for you. Download one of these a week and post those. But be consistent. Be consistent. Okay. What are you guys doing for buyer lead conversion at open houses? This is my favorite piece on breakthroughbroker.com. What are you doing at open houses for buyer lead conversion? Maybe you have a sign-in sheet. Next open house, I want you to go to breakthroughbroker.com in the search tool. I want you to search open house comparison chart. And this is being recorded, so you can watch this again. I want you to print out 30 of these. You can actually put your logo in here, choose your color, everything, and hand this out instead of your business card at open houses. Why? Because those open housers are going to go to other open houses that weekend. And when they do, they're going to use this. 1, address, first impression, neighborhood, living room, kitchen, bathrooms. Next open house, thumb up, thumb down, thumb up, thumb down. And when they get home at night, whose information do they have? Yours, with your logo. Every one of you should be using this at every open house. Super helpful. Okay, guys. So this is the kind of stuff that I want to make sure you are leveraging and using and doing. But if you really look at what we learned today and you make a phone call and you have a great conversation with somebody, and that same person, and then you follow up with that person and ask a question, and that same person pulled out a market data from their mailbox, and then they saw a really good post about investment properties, and then they saw another post, and then they got a CMA from you. Who's winning? You are. That's how you sell a lot of homes in today's market. And so I hope you guys got something out of me rambling for 40 minutes. I hope that this was, I hope one person who watches this video or was on this call sells one more home. And if you do, then I did my job. So, Tori, any questions?
You guys can go ahead and ask questions in the chat. We'll hang out for a few more minutes. I did just want to touch on a couple things that came up during the presentation. I noticed Colleen had said something about writing handwritten notes in brightly colored envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe,
Great
Colleen, that was during when we were talking about sending things to your past clients. The brightly colored envelopes is amazing because as somebody, I mean, we all receive mail, but if I was to go to the mailbox, I'm going to open that brightly colored envelope first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on that because I thought that was a very good suggestion. Let me see if there was anything else. Lisa's asking, will you send us the recording? After we end today, it takes us about 48 hours to process the recording, and then it will be available in the Allison James app under the corporate video room. If you need help accessing that, just post in the corporate help desk, or you can email at support@agicorporate.com. Colleen just said she got a call from $1 million listing for the last mailing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
it.
Another thing I wanted to touch on that you were talking about was calling your past clients. I don't think we think about that enough,
Oh my
to
gosh.
pick up the phone and call your past clients.
Of course.
It's so important to keep in touch. If you don't have past client automation or something where you're touching your past clients, you should highly consider doing that, because a lot of your business is going to come from referrals and past clients.
Absolutely.
You talk to any top producer who does 10 plus deals a year, and 90% of those deals are past clients or referrals.
Yeah.
So, also that open house comparison chart, I wrote it down because I was like, that is incredible.
It works great. Send that out to everybody.
Yes, I'm going to be talking about that for the next 6 months every time I talk to an agent.
Used it. Here's a story you can tell. She used it. She was frustrated from her open houses, and she doesn't like to listen to me. People are like, you have a great mentor. And she's like, who? Where? And she finally used it. And the first time she used it, true story, she used it on a Saturday open house. On a Wednesday, she got a call from a nice lady who was moving herself and both her daughters, who had 2 families from Northern California. Average sales price up there is like 2 million. So they all moved to Denver, and Joanna did about 3.8 million in buy sides from that piece of content.
Wow, that is amazing.
The only way they would have known how to get a hold of her was from looking at that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to continue to use that, like you said, going to other open houses, but your information is right there. They're going to remember because you handed them that chart.
Of course.
So thanks, everyone. It sounds like, Eric, you're getting a lot of thank yous, and we definitely appreciate you.
Tell my friends, Jess and Matt, that I say hi.
I definitely will, and we'll have to have you back again. Hopefully we start doing live events, and maybe we can go somewhere and you can speak to us in person.
Anytime. I know I flew out and did something for you guys in Florida a couple of years ago, like 5-6 years ago. It was fun. So
yeah, well, definitely. Thank you so much, and we'll be talking again soon. I do also want to thank everybody who joined us today and spent the last 45 minutes out of your day with us. We're always happy to have you. And again, this is a recorded webinar, so this will be available in the Allison James app. If you need help finding it, you know how to reach us. But again, thanks everyone for joining us, and a huge thank you to Eric for all of the wonderful insight today. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Enjoy and have a fun and safe Memorial Day weekend. Thanks, and I will talk to you all very soon. Have a good day, everyone.
Sorry.